I hope you've got, you know, as you employers and other apprentices, it's a very welcome, obviously, initiative, and look at the enthusiasm of the apprentices coming through. I mean, it's brilliant to see. How difficult has it been years before this, you know, getting the right people in the job? So it's really opened up the doors, and we're hoping as CTSI, working with you, to be able to move that into you know, further areas. And it's good, and it's really pleasing to know that, you know, the training's working and it's being delivered, and so many people coming through into the profession is great. Just before I pass over to Richard Strawson, and I know Sue's in the room as well, I think what we would like to do is work in the future on, you saw so many awards last night, I know there's quite a few. It'd be nice to have something with apprentices, I think. Yeah, so I think we might be looking about that in the near future, and encouraging apprentices with awards. We've got a few minutes left. Just to leave for Richard. He's chair of, it's from East Sussex. He's the chair of the Training Standards Apprenticeship scheme that we've got now. I'd like to introduce him to the platform to give you an update on where we are with that level 6 going forward. Please, Richard. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so always a dangerous thing to come last in the few minutes before a free lunch upstairs. So I shall try and keep to time. But yeah, thanks, Phil. Yeah, I head up East Sussex Training Standards, and since I've been there since 2017, you know, I've seen the RCO apprenticeship emerge and be successful, and we've been able to fully support that with a series of apprentices, 2 of which you've heard from before. In fact, I stood up at an AXO meeting, must have been 2018-ish, I think, possibly, with my first 2 RCO apprentices, who were on the very first cohort, and they gave their feedback, and they're still with us and advancing really well. So that's testament to the success, and as Phil says, really the enthusiasm of these people. And if I can say nothing else, it injects new blood into services, and that's can, for me, just be a good thing. So just reflecting on that and the success, it was just a discussion that we had around Trading Standards South East, TESI, the board that I sit on there, about what the next steps were. And I think with the development of the RCO as a generic regulatory apprenticeship, that's been really successful across regulatory functions. But there was always a feeling that maybe the apprenticeship scheme could be used to benefit specifically trading standards and actually further support CTSI with their qualification. And so at the beginning of this year, TESI took a decision to pursue developing a trading standards practitioner level 6 apprenticeship, which would further support the RCO but take it one step further, really. And it's a difficult process, truth be known. It can be a long process, but very much TESI initially was committed to at least starting that process to see whether it was feasible, it was financially viable. And so we've got the support of now AXO and many other authorities around the country, trading standards authorities, that have joined the Trailblazer steering group, as well as CTSI and OPS and some commercial organisations as well. And it's early days. You know, we're in the process of formally applying for a trading standards practitioner apprenticeship to be developed. And then our application is due to go in November to be assessed by the Institute for Apprentices and Technical Education. That's what they're called now. Yeah, technical education. So we're at the first stages. So we've just been talking about the core duties around that, and we've had to be careful that we don't duplicate what's in the RCO. It's not after about duplicating any existing apprenticeship. We've been looking at other similar apprentices that are available under environmental health and building control, and we've been doing some work with them just to make sure that we're happy that those duties are directly applicable to our profession and would be of value to either people that haven't previously undertaken the RCO apprenticeship or people that have. You know, the entry points are flexible, I think. but there is potential to develop it, I think. And timescales wise, I think a year is probably reasonable. So maybe this time next year, we'll be able to stand here and either say, yeah, this is an excellent product and this is how we're going to work our way forward, or we may take a decision that it's not needed. But actually, I think this room is testimony to the fact that the apprenticeships is a good scheme, and we've been hearing about, you know, shortages in various areas in this country, and I think, you know, by and large, we as a service have been unable to invest in new blood for the profession, you know, largely financial, and there are opportunities with the MHCLG, potential for funding and other opportunities to get some people into the service and regenerate and rejuvenate trading standards, and that can only be a good thing going forward. So, 3 minutes for questions.
Look at that. Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. So what have we seen today then? It is a difficult task to build apprenticeships. You do have to go through a lot of hoops and hurdles, as Rob and I can testify, and also now colleagues in the South East are learning about. But you know, when you can stand here and sit here today and hear all the experiences and know it's working, and the enthusiasm that's been brought into the profession, it's got to be worth it. But as you know, if you're new, if you're a new employer thinking about apprenticeships, or even if you're delivering it now, it is an ongoing work to be able to make sure that you do support the apprenticeships, the apprentices that you have. Good. So we are now all invited to the new to profession upstairs, the drinks reception. It's in Ashted room number 1, which is good. And what we've also enabled, I think there's going to be a couple of speeches from some of our colleagues in the profession, just giving a little bit of information about the support networks that there are in training standards. And I know certainly when I was a trainee many years ago, you know, you got to know you were supported by your local authority a lot, and you got to know over time by being part of the professional body lots of support networks. So I think we just want to highlight that. And then obviously we've got a chance to have a chat and network, and we've invited the training providers and also the EPOs to be there, so that you can go and speak to them about any of your questions, you know, in regards to training or the endpoint assessment. So I hope you enjoy the next sessions. Thank you very much for coming. We'll keep you all informed and going forward. And it sounds like we may want to think about maybe a group or something, of making sure that apprentices and employers are kept informed, because I think there's a lot of lessons, isn't there, today learned between apprentices and also employers. So I think we might be thinking about going forward with that in the future. Good. Thank you for your time.